Fall is all about cozy comforts, and with Hero Bread, you can enjoy all your favorites and still hit your health goals. From breakfast bagels and meal prepped enchiladas to mouth-watering burgers and cheesy noodles. You won't believe Hero Bread's options have 0 to 5 grams net carbs and are high fiber from the taste and texture. And right now, Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use code FALL25 at checkout. That's FALL25 at hero.co. All figures are per serving of Hero Bread. Contains 2 to 18 grams of fat per serving. See the product nutrition panels on hero.co for more information.
Right now, but I remember I called, I was like, let me see if I can get this Rockefeller.com, because what they had is ROC-A-FELLA, and the reality, nobody's trying to type all that, right? So I said, let me see if I can get Rockefeller. I got it, and I remember I called him and I was like, Al, I caught you slipping for real. And he was like, what? But at that time, the internet wasn't what it is now. Like,
no.
You know, so he's like, I don't care. Yeah. And I had it for a couple of years. And
that was Anthony Lindsay, thought leader, speaker, business and finance author, and ChatGPT evangelist. Keep listening to discover how Anthony helps startups and side hustlers make their first $100,000 and the mindset shifts that turn big ideas into real income. Welcome to another episode of the Online Marketing Secrets Podcast with your host, Lopez. If you're ready to grow, like, and share the show, and let's get started.
Sit back and relax and get ready for another exclusive episode of the Online Marketing Secrets Podcast with Lopez.
This episode is sponsored by FindFlightsAndHotels.com. Looking for the perfect summer vacation destination for you and your family? FindFlightsAndHotels.com has got you covered. From tropical beaches to cultural adventures, our brand new travel website is your one-stop shop for booking the unforgettable family vacation you've been dreaming of. Discover amazing deals, top-rated accommodations, and unbeatable flight options, all in one place. Say goodbye to stress and hello to endless fun in the sun. Don't miss out on creating cherished memories with your loved ones this summer. Visit FindFlightsAndHotels.com now and start planning the getaway of a lifetime.
So, where you from?
I was born in England. I grew up in New York and lived in Texas for a while.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've never been over there in England. Of course, I've been in New York many times.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, but you know, that's pretty cool, man. You know. So I read that you got started in the mortgage business. How'd that come about?
So, man, so my story is kind of winding, but it's what makes it's what adds value when I talk to people. So yeah, I grew up in New York, was working in the era of, essentially, I'm a 17, 18-year-old with dreadlocks and working in Manhattan. So you're either going to work in the mailroom or you're going to be a messenger. So I ended up getting a job at what was then Chemical Bank, which then became Chase, which became JP Morgan Chase. So kind of got my foot in the door there as far as having an opportunity working in banking. But I also was doing, my music. So kind of working at the bank, doing my music. The whole music thing didn't go over very well with my grandparents. They're Jamaican. So they're like, you get yourself a trade. So I stuck with the music. I've always had that passion for that. Did some stuff with that, but always had to have a solid plan, something for real. Because I had my first daughter when I was 17. So that was the other thing. We always had to have something to make sure that she's being taken care of. So when I came back to England, I was working in finance. When I came back to England, worked in wealth management for a while, but then kind of looked at the whole landscape of finance and AI and technology and just wanted to find something that is a little bit ring-fenced, is a little bit protected from AI and just from technology. And essentially, like the whole mortgage industry and the property industry most people in the near future aren't going to feel comfortable pressing a button and buying a house for, $500,000. You get what I'm saying? They're going to want someone to talk to. So at my age, I have, let's just say 15 years properly of like working. Within the next 15 years, I don't see the entire industry shifting that they don't need people like me. So that's how I ended up in, because I've been in finance for 30 years, but the whole mortgage and property, I felt like it was a safer bet for the time that I have left in my career.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? I met a guy that bought a house like that. He bought a house without looking at it in person.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you crazy?
Wow.
I said, so I like, hold on. Let me get understanding this. You bought a house that was 300 miles away in another state without physically looking at it. You just basically looked at the pictures and the videos online.
Yeah.
And found a lender, realtor.
Yeah.
And you went through all the paperwork. So I asked him, when did you physically see the house?
Yeah.
The day of closing.
Wow.
Wow.
The thing is, I think there's a percentage of people that can do that, but it's not that. Plus, you got to be a single guy.
Yeah,
if you have a wife, your wife is not going to be like no. I think it's a very niche type of person that can do something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, in the mortgage, business, or just in that area, period, man, there's a lot of restrictions, man. A lot of people say, man, you can't do this, you can't do that.
Yeah.
If you're online, you can't really tell people what to do.
Yeah.
You can talk about a lot of things, but you can't tell, because what used to happen, I used to meet a lot of these people, right? They work at the bank, and they used to say, hey, they used to ask me for advice. I said, hey, you should start a YouTube channel.
Yeah,
and I said you should, and I said you should educate people on the pitfalls that people might run into, right? And they said, and I said that at the end of the video, you should give people a call to action. They said, oh no, we can't do that. I'm like, what?
Yeah. So what I do, I do have my UK mortgage channel, and I do kind of like what you're saying, but I talk through kind of like common knowledge type of things. Like, what is the process of getting a mortgage? So I'm not giving advice. I'm just saying, well, in the UK, step 1, you do this. Step 2, you do this. Step 3, because like you said, it's heavily regulated, and you have to be careful. You have to be really careful. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm like, you can't do anything. I'm like, how do y'all be successful with all the restrictions? And it's, well, you just make best within the restrictions. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So when did you when did you come online? Well, first off, what made you come online? I think that's a big step within itself.
Yeah. So the thing is, I'm a bit of a geek, right? So I love technology. But I'm also very cynical. So I like to understand technology, that I understand what the real deal is, not what they're trying to tell you the deal is. So as far as the web design stuff, interesting story. Like, I started doing websites like at the very, very, very beginning of people, like individuals doing websites. I actually used to own the Rockefeller website.
Okay.
So I owned the Rockefeller website. So at that time, that's when I was doing stuff in the music industry, and the GM at Rockefeller at the time, his name was Al Branch, and I just had this brainstorm one day. I was like, let me just buy some names, right? If I bought the right ones, I'd be a multi-millionaire right now. But I remember I called, I was like, let me see if I can get this Rockefeller.com, because what they had is ROC-A-FELLA. And the reality, nobody's trying to type all that, right? So I said, let me see if I can get Rockefeller. I got it. And I remember I called him and I was like, Al, I caught you slipping for real. And he's like, what? But at that time, the internet wasn't what it is now. Like,
no.
You know, so he's like, I don't care. Yeah. And I had it for a couple years, and then I ended up selling it to Island Def Jam.
Okay.
But from then, I was doing websites, supporting people with media, because I've always been doing business consultancy, helping people with their businesses. And then we kind of got into this space where everybody's a guru. Everybody's telling you, sign up for my course and this. And I'm so, I value people. And I value my clients, and I genuinely want them to do well. And I'm like, the most cost-effective way of promoting your business is digitally. It's the most cost-effective way. So I tried for a while doing stuff online and hiding my face and, have the avatar and all of that. And then I just kind of reached a point where my brother was on my case about it. And the reality is, especially if you work in finance, people need to trust you. And people cannot trust you if they can't see you. So I said, if I'm going to do this, because I always tell people I have a face for radio. Because I've had radio shows, all of that. And I'm not really, that confident as far as how I look. I was like, but nobody cares, right? Like, nobody cares. So I started with the podcast. So I started doing a podcast first, then I started doing some video stuff. And then I realized that I was now getting inbound calls. I was now getting people calling me saying, I watched your video about X, about how to get a mortgage. I need a mortgage. And so I'm not selling to them now. I'm just creating content that is serving a purpose and answering a question, and they feel like I am now a key person of influence. I'm the person that has answered that question, have my details in the description, and they reach out to me. And then because I use the technology available to repurpose the stuff. So I'll do my YouTube clip, then I repurpose it for TikTok, then I repurpose it and do a LinkedIn ad or whatever. And I just realized it's less expensive. I don't need to pay someone to do all that stuff for me. And, it is what it is. And that's where you're going to find business, like, for real.
Yeah, man. You've been around for a while, man. From the beginning. Yeah, because I've been online for 20 years.
Wow.
I've been online for a long time, and I was just like you in the beginning. I had a blog that I used to write all the time, and one person saw the blog and said, "Hey, I want one," and I created them one, and it just kept going from there. And then people. Now I knew other people that had social media accounts like MySpace, even Facebook at the time. Even though Facebook, they were selling, they were like for college kids at the time.
Yeah, it was a different platform then.
Yeah, and there was a lot of video platforms back then. So I knew people that were on there, but I wasn't. Because I'm like, well, I'm writing and I'm getting a lot of views in my blogs, so I don't have to do no videos. I'm like, what for? Right. Yeah. And then over time, and my blog was hacked. And when my blog got hacked, I didn't know anything about backing up anything. And I basically lost everything. Had to start all over. And when that happened, somebody was like, "Hey, you need to get one of those flip cameras." I'm like, "What? What's that?" Like, the camera that flips up is small, like $150, and I used to do videos like that on my way to work, driving to work. I used to do videos like that, and I used to record it. And when I got back home, I would upload those videos to everywhere, you know, and that's how I would get a lot of. That's how I would. That's how I build an audience.
Yeah.
And so but I never wanted to really do videos. I'm like, I always thought it was kind of weird in the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, but back then, like recording videos, like walking around, people would.
Yeah, it wasn't like now.
No, people would be like, "Oh, you're a weirdo."
Yeah. Isn't it funny though? It's like you said something. Isn't it interesting how things come full circle? Because you said that you'd film in the car, right, on the way, and now that's like the thing, like that. I'm walking down the street, I'm sitting in my car, and you were doing it 20 years ago.
Yeah. But today, I can go to Target and somebody will be doing a video on Target.
Yeah.
It's normal. People will see the person, they won't even think anything of it. Oh, okay, doing a video or whatever. But 10 years ago, they'd be like, "What the hell is this weirdo?" Somebody would probably walk up to this person and be like, "Hey, sir, why are you doing a video on here?" But they won't even today. No problem.
Yeah, no one. Yeah. And it's just like I was in the music industry from like the late 80s, early 90s. I used to work for Def Jam. I was around everybody, right? And sometimes, like, if you look at some of my posts on LinkedIn, sometimes I do have some photos. But what people don't realize, when I was in the whole music industry, like the LLs and those, they weren't who they are now, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And then so like literally, I helped Jay-Z set up his first office, right? Okay. But Jay-Z wasn't who he is now. So people, do you have a picture? Plus, like you said, you didn't just walk around with a camera in 1990. No. You know what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't just have those. You didn't have a camera in your phone. So if you were going to take a picture of somebody or something, you had to have a camera. So I kind of feel like some people like, "Oh, he's lying, this, that, the other." I'm like, "Why don't you have any pictures?" I said, first of all, the internet wasn't what it is now. No. Secondly, I'm not going to be walking around in the street looking like a weirdo, like you said, with some big camera. And these people, I would have never thought, like, I'm sure you would have never thought 30 years ago that hip hop would be what it is today. Oh, and the people, like, think about it this way. Snoop is like hanging out with Martha Stewart.
Who would ever think that would happen?
Right? You'd have never thought that. No. You'd have never thought that. So times have changed, but you were at the forefront because you were doing the thing. And it then means the things that you were doing were organic. You weren't doing it for likes or for clicks. You were just doing it because you had a talent, or you have a talent and skill for it.
Yeah, because back then everything was organic. I wasn't placing no ads. I wasn't doing any of that stuff because I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to do that. I learned how to place ads offline, and the magazines and the newspapers and the small local newspapers. I learned how to do that offline, and then I tried to apply that online too, but it doesn't convert that well. You have to change your words up. You can't have strong language. But offline, hey, anything goes pretty much, So I didn't know how to do it, so I had to be organic in the beginning.
Yeah. And even that word, like there's one word that just like I do a big eye roll when I see it especially on LinkedIn, this whole thing about being authentic, right? Oh, so like there's this thing, you need to be authentic, but then someone will DM you and they're like, "I'll manage your social media profile." I'm like, how are you going to be authentic for me?
Exactly.
Like only you can be authentic for you and only I can be authentic for me. So I just do whatever. I'm not really trying to follow any trends.
No, I've never followed any trends. I've never done it because the trends don't last long.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you follow the trends, once the trends are gone, you gotta have to start all over again.
There you go. And what tends to happen is something like you have people that see something that's working, and this is one of the things I do not like about where we are in the world, but specifically with social media. As soon as someone sees a trend, they package it and then they mass produce it, sell a course on it, sell a workshop on it, and then everybody's doing the exact same thing.
That's I think in almost every niche, every profession is that.
Yeah.
People I think one of the main ones is drop shipping, right? People have asked me, hey, if I ever done drop shipping, I said no. I said I don't know anybody that have done it, but I know a lot of people that have got digital products talking about it.
Yeah,
and they asked me why haven't you done it? I said because I mean where I'm gonna get the products from, shipping from where, China, and how long it's gonna take them to get it? What, a month and a half? People will be pissed off by that time and want their money back. Yeah. So how's that gonna work? And
go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the thing is, this is the problem. What happens is the people that are showing you how to do it, because that's all it is. You have these people online saying you should be drop shipping. Sign up for my course, and I'll show you how to do it.
Yeah.
And that person isn't making money off the drop shipping.
No.
that person's making their money off selling the course. So that's why I have this well, it's one of my books. It's called Business Mastery for Startups and Side Hustlers. And essentially, I break down all of the different elements of getting a business up and running, et cetera, et cetera. And it's all in the book. And I'm like, you don't need to pay someone for this, because the fundamentals are all the same and all of the fundamentals are out there. But if you want to work within a small group, then I have this community, and I need to get you in it. I have this community. It's a free community. It's called Startups and Side Hustlers, and everybody helps everybody. Everybody connects with everybody. But then if you want to work one-on-one with people, that's different. I get that. But I just don't like that whole concept of pay me $2,500 to teach you how to do drop shipping, and then you end up not making any money, but I've made my $2,500.
Yeah. A lot of that, man. It's a lot of that. Yeah, it's a lot of that, man. Unfortunately, Yeah. So let's back up a little bit. Hey, what was it like working at the Def Jam?
See, this is the thing. People ask that, but it was kind of like, now I look back, it was pretty cool, right? Because what had happened was my best friend at the time was signed to Russell Simmons had just started a newer label called Rush Associated Labels. And RAL, Rush Associated Labels. And he was the first rapper to get signed to that label. And it was on the back of, you've got to check out my LinkedIn article about this. It's when Will Smith moved out to LA. So they were kind of like, the music industry was kind of looking for like a replacement for Will Smith, like a clean, good looking rapper type of stuff. And my friend got signed. And so he kind of brought me through kind of like as his sidekick. And then I started doing promotions for them. But like I said, at the time, it was like Public Enemy, LL, it was that era. But at that time, like, I remember when LL got his first Porsche and he pulled up at Def Jam and everyone's like, and now people are driving Bentleys.
Yeah.
Because back then, having a Jeep Wrangler was like, oh, you made it. And now they have jets and helicopters and all of that. So it was cool, but now that I look back and I'm like, man, I used to sit down and kick it with, like, you name it, people from that era. But it was just a rapper at that time, or just a person that was about to be a rapper, because a lot of the you meet artists that just got signed. I remember, like, when Redman, we were at some music conference and they were launching Redman, and like, it's Redman. Like, at the time, it's just some new rapper, but like now I look back, I'm like, wow.
Yeah, you saw these people in the early stages of their career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But didn't have a camera. Like,
Yeah. Imagine if you were using social media back then.
Oh.
You know, it'd
the world would be different.
Yeah.
The world would be so different. But you know what? I'm thankful because the other thing I'm so thankful for, and when this whole P. Diddy thing came out, my uncle called me. He was like, wow, you were right. Because the industry is dark. It's a dark place.
Yeah.
Because you got to think about it. Anywhere there's a lot of money and young men, there's going to be sexual impropriety. Guaranteed. That's just how men are.
That's just what it is.
Right? And then when you, because I remember I was, do you know Wu-Tang, right?
Yeah.
So you have Wu-Tang, but then you had all these other members that nobody knows about. But like they had this member of Wu-Tang called Shaheem the Rugged Child.
Oh, he's a young kid.
Parenthood and all of that. So for a minute, for one of his runs, I was his tour manager, right? And he was probably 15, 16 at the time. Mm-hmm. This was when they did the Waterfalls video, and he was in that and all of that. And I remember we were somewhere, and he's 15, 16, and you have these grown women, like, just falling all over him.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And so you imagine, like, those athletes, the musicians, the actors. If you're 15, I remember what it's like being a 16, 17-year-old guy. Imagine if you could have any girl you want.
Yeah.
Like, it's a whole different, and I'm glad that I never was in that. I was never close enough to the inner circles that maybe I would have gone in a different direction or got caught up in things that I shouldn't have gotten caught up in. So as happy as I am to be able to have some of these stories, I'm even happier that maybe I wasn't a great rapper and actually got to a point that, you know, my integrity would have been tested.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been around some of the rappers because like early, I was 17, because one of my homeboys had a cousin that knew Mobb Deep, Nas, a lot of these guys. Yeah. So they used to sneak us in the club when I was 17 at the time, and we used to go backstage and back to the hotel. So I've been around it. I know. Yeah, I've seen some stuff. I'll be like, what the hell? Yeah. So it's the music business is a cesspool. That's all it is.
Definitely.
That just comes along. That just comes along with it, man. It is what it is, you know. And I don't think it's ever going to change.
No, because it's a concentration of money and testosterone.
Yeah.
That's what you're gonna get. And you know, I'm not into this whole concept of toxic masculinity, because women have their own strongholds.
Oh yeah.
You know, men, you know, the whole sex thing is always going to be a challenge for men. So it's always going to be a double standard. It's what it is. And plus, after, you know, I started hanging out with all these guys, then I went into the Navy, which is a whole nother. Really?
You know, yeah, that's a whole nother level. I'm like, because you get to go to these other countries. Yeah. And the same thing plays out.
Really?
The same thing happens when you go to other countries. Because women are women at the end of the day, regardless of the language, culture. If she's a woman at the end of the day, she's still got female tendencies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I've seen how some guys get caught up, you know, because it's like when you're young, you don't really know.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't know.
You don't think about consequences. You don't think about any of that.
Yeah, you know. So when did you decide to take all your experiences and start helping people with startups and you know, doing whatever they wanted to do?
So early on, in the early 90s, mid to early 90s, I realized, because as I said, I was doing the web design, I was doing all of that, and I started this thing called the UEN, the Ultimate Entertainment Network. And what we would, Kinko's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what we would do, we'd rent a meeting room at Kinko's, and once a month, because I'm in the music industry and I know people trying to get in the music industry and all of that, I do these like networking meetings. And so like you might have a singer who's trying to get on, and you might have a producer who just needs someone to do like guide vocals or whatever. So everybody would network. And so then I started doing a music conference in New York. And then I moved that to Houston. But what I realized is, and I never really crystallized it the way that I should, because again, I'd be a multi-millionaire. What I realized is you have to monetize a system, because maybe I'm not able to, or maybe I'm just not a fan of, I don't know which one it is, to say, well, I'm going to charge you, $500 for me to give you someone's phone number, or for me to give you information. I'm not comfortable with that, but I still need to make money. So I realized I have to monetize the system, and monetizing the system for me was saying, all right, well, I want to help people. I want to help people get their business up and running. I've tried doing it for free, but people don't respect free. People don't value free. So, like you work really hard on your podcast, right?
Yeah.
And I have a podcast as well. And what I found is sometimes I'll invite people on there. They don't show up, or they come late, because they don't value how much work you have to do to set things up.
Yeah.
But if they were paying you, they'd be there early.
Oh, yeah.
So I said, all right. So I wrote my book, the Business Mastery for Startups and Side Hustles. And I kind of built a system where if you buy the book, then you have the full system and you can do it yourself. I've made a little bit of royalties. That's fine. If you then want to become part of the network, so the Startups and Side Hustles, it's still free. And then you have the book, and but if you want to work with me or work with someone else about one of the concepts in the book, then you're paying them for their time. But you're still not paying them $5,000 or $10,000, because the system's there. Sometimes people just need that accountability, someone to say, all right, every 3 weeks, we're going to see how you have progressed through this chapter. So it was a progressive thing. I think as far as really structuring it well, we started our business in about 9 years ago. We incorporated it in Houston, Astor Business Centers, and we had a business center where people could come and rent offices and do like hot desk, and we'd have networking. So the whole ecosystem was really formalized, probably about 8 years ago. But that's my passion. Like if you have a gifting for something, the money will come.
Yeah.
You don't have to charge if you would ask me, oh, do you know so-and-so, and I know them, as long as I know you're serious about what you're going to be talking to them about, I'll be like, here's their number, here's an introduction. That's the other reason why I transitioned to LinkedIn as well. Because if I'm talking to you and then you say, well, I'm trying to do such and such, and I know someone that does it, I'll just hop on LinkedIn and make the introduction. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's a winding way to say I've always done it, but as far as creating a system that it's easier for someone to work through it, it would be within the last 8 years.
Nice. So I guess in a perfect world, who would be like the perfect person you make an intro for?
That's a great question. So I only work with 5 people at a time, and I only work with people -6 months to 12 months in business. And the reason why that is, the business mastery for startups and side hustlers, it's a full system. I always put it to people like this. Like, let's just say you have a young person. It's a 16-year-old boy. He's 6'6". He's got the physicality. He's really good. You know he can make it in the NBA at some time. And then he goes to Michael Jordan and is like, Michael Jordan, I want you to mentor me, but I only want you to show me how to slam dunk. I only want you to show me how to dunk. Jordan's going to be like, well, we can do that, but you need to know all the fundamentals. You can't just come to me for one thing. When we get to that one thing, if you're good at it, then we don't have to spend as much time in it. So how that relates to our system, like we teach mindsets, we teach marketing, we teach design, everything on a basic level is built into the course that when you do get up and running, you have a business that's sustainable, it's scalable, it's repeatable, and it's franchisable. You have a business that you are making money and you know how and why you're making money. Not like you've paid someone to come in and do your sales for you, and then if they leave, that skill set leaves with them. Like, you have enough of the foundational stuff to get up and running. And then when you're hiring people, like if you're interviewing a salesperson, because you understand sales yourself, you can see if they're pulling the wool over your eyes.
Yeah.
So negative 6 months to 12 months, because once people pass that point, or if they've already made 100,000 in their business, even if they're doing it wrong, there's too much emotional baggage to move away from those bad behaviors.
Yeah, that's true. You know, so you've been around long. You've been in this space just as long as me, basically.
Yeah.
so you know how the internet is today versus how it used to be back in the day. Do you think today it's much easier to earn money, start a business? You know, you think it's easier or much more difficult, you know, the way versus the way it used to be?
I think because it's easier, it's harder. So I remember when I was shopping my demo tape, and it was literally a cassette tape.
Yeah.
I had to go to record shops, and the way that I got the addresses for labels to send my demo to, I'd have to pull the sleeve out, look at the address, because it wasn't in the yellow pages. They didn't have like Def Jam records in the yellow, so that's the only. So I built up a database, so it was hard. I got a record deal because not that many people were willing to do that work. Now, remember, like right now, I could record a song. Actually, I wouldn't even have to write it. I can go on an app, get an app to write a song for me.
Yeah.
I could then go into an AI app, make it and have it do a video for it, upload that video to YouTube, put it on SoundCloud, and connect to PayPal. Yeah. I now have a record label, right? But so because it's easier and the barrier to entry is so low, it's a crowded market. So now, in order to, if everyone's doing that, how do you make yourself stand out? So the fact that it's easier makes it harder.
Yeah.
It's just a different type of hard.
Yeah. It's, you know, it's a lot of noise, and it's I think a lot of people, well, I shouldn't say a lot of people. I should say there's no standards.
Yeah.
It's kind of like people are just doing whatever. And I asked somebody the other day, who said this sounds good? Who said this is good? You know, and they say, well, it kind of doesn't matter, because as long as the audience is there and they're buying into what I have, that's all that really matters. I said, okay, you know, and that's a good, and I couldn't argue against that.
Yep, I'm not mad at you. You can't be mad at that. Like, that's because if ultimately, this is the argument for the free market. If ultimately the definition of success is how many you sell, then by virtue of that, whoever's selling the most is the best.
Yeah.
From an artistic perspective, you can be like, that's garbage.
Yeah. but he's selling. So
who am I to say anything? Who am I to say anything?
Exactly. So if people want to reach out to you online and work with you, where would they go to?
They will go to my LinkedIn. I do everything through my LinkedIn. Partly that you see who I am really. You know, it's every aspect of me. It's my true, as they say, authentic self. And we can connect on LinkedIn. So it's linkedin.com, Anthony Lindsay, Lindsay with an A, so Lindsay, CMAP, and I will come up. I'm currently in the UK. If anyone is in the US and you're looking to relocate to the UK and you need some property, hit me up. If you are an estate an estate agent in the US and you're trying to make some connections with people in the UK, because the pound versus the dollar, like the pound is quite strong right now. So I do have people that are looking to purchase in the US. Hit me up. Either way, let's just connect. Let's connect, and because like they say, a rising tide lifts all boats. So we can all win. There's enough for everybody to be successful.
Sure. So there you have it. Like, share this episode. All links will be found in the show notes. Until next time, we're out. Peace.